If you look closely at the economic headlines coming out of the United States right now, there's a pattern that keeps showing up. New factories breaking ground, old facilities reopening, global companies announcing large U.S. investments. For years, it felt like American manufacturing was slowly shrinking, losing ground to cheaper overseas production. But today, something very different is happening. U.S. manufacturing is gaining momentum again, not in a small way, but through a noticeable wave of reinvestment across multiple industries. The country is entering a moment that many thought would never return, and it's reshaping everything from jobs to supply chains to long-term business planning. To understand why this manufacturing revival is happening, the first key factor is supply chain resilience. After years of disruptions, businesses realized how vulnerable they were to long, complicated global supply chains. Port delays, shipping bottlenecks, overseas shutdowns, all of these exposed how fragile the system had become. Companies discovered that saving a few dollars on production wasn't worth the risk of missing out on billions in revenue when supply chains failed. This caused a massive shift in strategy. Instead of optimizing purely for cost, businesses began optimizing for control and stability. The U.S. has become a strategic production location again simply because it reduces uncertainty. A second major factor driving this manufacturing momentum is government incentives. Over the last few years, several federal programs have made U.S. production financially attractive. Incentives for semiconductor production, clean energy manufacturing, electric vehicles, and advanced materials have drawn billions of dollars in commitments from companies around the world. These credits and grants don't just support factories. They create entire ecosystems around them. When one large manufacturer breaks ground, dozens of suppliers follow. This multiplier effect is one of the big reasons investment numbers are climbing so quickly. Another part of the story is technological capability. Manufacturing today doesn't look like manufacturing 20 years ago. Automation, robotics, advanced software, and smart sensors have reduced labor costs, boosted consistency, and increased efficiency. Modern factories can operate with fewer workers while producing higher quality output. And because the U.S. leads in advanced technology, companies that want to build high-tech products are finding that manufacturing closer to research and development teams gives them a competitive edge. When engineers and factory teams are down the street from each other instead of separated by continents, innovation moves faster. There's also a growing strategic concern driving investment: geopolitical risk. Rising tensions, shifting trade relationships, and uncertainties in certain regions are making multinational companies rethink where they place their critical production. A sudden border lockdown, a political dispute, or a trade restriction could disrupt operations for months. To avoid this, companies are spreading out manufacturing and choosing safer, more stable locations. The U.S., despite higher costs, offers predictable regulations, strong infrastructure, and legal certainty. For many industries, that's worth paying a premium. But beyond these large macro forces, there's a quieter, equally important shift happening. Consumer expectations have changed. American shoppers now prefer faster delivery, better product availability, and brands that can respond quickly to trends. Producing goods thousands of miles away slows everything down. Retailers want short lead times and flexible production. Manufacturing in the U.S. makes it easier to restock quickly, experiment with new variations, and respond to demand without waiting months for shipments. Speed to market has become a competitive advantage, and domestic manufacturing supports that speed. Another unexpected contributor to this momentum is the rise of new industries. Clean energy components, electric vehicle batteries, solar panels, advanced materials, semiconductor equipment, and even aerospace parts are driving a fresh wave of specialized factories. These aren't traditional assembly line operations. They require highly skilled workers, precision equipment, and strong coordination with engineering teams. The U.S. is well positioned for these industries because of its workforce, research institutions, and existing industrial clusters. As these sectors grow, they pull additional suppliers into the country, strengthening the entire ecosystem. Yet, the story isn't just about new factories. Many companies are upgrading older facilities instead of abandoning them. From the Midwest to the Southeast, manufacturers are pouring money into modernizing equipment, installing automation, and redesigning production lines. These upgrades increase output without relocating operations overseas.